Hey, this is Mr. Williams, and this is to help you with your GeoGebra project number 2 for chapter 2. And once again, we're going to start off. We're going to do font size, put it up to 20, and we're going to move our window down a little bit. There we got 10 there, and I think I'll move it, yeah, somewhere over there, and I'll bring this over a little bit. And I can drag this. I basically remember my ladder is kind of going from 10 to 10, so I need to make sure those numbers are in there. Anyway, here's what we're going to get going. We're going to create a slider, and we're going to call it T for time, because what we're doing is we're going to be pulling a 10-foot ladder at half a foot per second from the base of the wall. So we're going to go, and it's a half foot per second, so a 10-foot ladder is going to take 20 seconds. So my minimum is going to be 0. My maximum will be 20 seconds, because at 20 seconds it's done. And my increment will be 0.1. And so there's my slider that goes from up to 20, 0 to 20. And I want to make a point. I'm going to make point A. This is going to be the point that's moving along. I'll make point A equals, it's basically going to be moving at, it's going to be basically 1/2 of whatever the t is. So it's 0.5 times t. That will be its x value. So put parentheses there, and its y value is going to be 0. And so here I am as I move across. There's point A. I want to make it, double click on it, object properties. Let's make the color red. Style, let's make it a little bit bigger. What did I just do? I don't like whatever I just did. I'm going to undo that. There we are. So the value of A, when I get to 20, it's at 10. There we are. So that's the speed. I can animate this. If I right click on this, I can click on animation on, and you'll see that it moves along. I have a little button down here to pause it if I want. I can pause and start. Okay. So that's going to be the base of the ladder as it's moving along. I can also right click on this and change my animation. Right now it's oscillating, so it go backwards. We want it only to be increasing. So now it's not going to go backwards, it's just going to jump back to the beginning. Okay, now that's point A, and the x part of that coordinate is how far the ladder is from the base. I need to get the top of the ladder, and the top of the ladder, I'm going to take a point B equals, it's going to be 0, comma, and here's where that Pythagorean theorem comes into play. It's going to be, x squared plus y squared equals 10 squared. So it's going to equal the square root, parentheses, of 100 that's 10 squared, minus, I'm going to put in parentheses, the x-coordinate of point A and I have to square that. So let's see, make sure my parentheses work out here. I got x of A. I need to square that. Let's see if that works. It'll tell me if I have, yeah. And let's see how this works now. Yeah, that looks good. Now, one of the things I need to do is I need to show what dy dt is on here, and your function is going to be x squared plus y squared equals 10 squared. When you do the differentiation with respect to t, it's going to be 2x dx dt plus 2y dy dt equals 0, and then you're going to solve that for dy dt. Now I'm going to show you just, it's not in GeoGebra, but I'm going to show you here, it's a program called Wolfram. And the interesting thing with Wolfram, I can just click down here on mathematics. If you ever want to check yourself, we're going to go down to Algebra, Calculus, and Analysis. And I'm actually going to type in here, hey, derivative x squared plus y squared equals 10 squared, which is 100. And what's different here is I'm going to say with respect to t. And it says, hey, dy dt, they're calling that y prime t, is going to equal negative x dx dt. That x prime of t is dx dt over y. So you're basically getting negative x times dx dt over y. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in here that, let's go back to GeoGebra. I'm going to have another letter. I'm going to call this, I don't want to get mixed up with something. Let's call this ABC. I'll just say the letter C. C equals, and I got to remember it's the negative x, so negative, and remember my x comes from point A. That's where the x part of A, so I'm going to say negative, I'm going to say x parentheses of A, that's that x part of that coordinate, times the rate that it's being pulled, my dx dt is 0.5 divided by the y, where the ladder is on the wall, the y, and that will be y parentheses of b. And that's what's going to, the C is going to actually represent dy dt. And I see that it's, right now it's negative 0.51. So I can actually do something pretty cool right now. I'm going to put a title on this. I'm going to say, you're going to put whatever your name is. If your name was Freddie Rebel, you'd say Freddie Rebel's ladder problem. And we're going to give a little more information on here. We're going to say and actually when a 10-foot ladder actually it should be when the base of a 10-foot ladder, when the base of a 10-foot ladder is pulled out at 1/2 a foot per second, the top of the ladder is moving along the wall at, and then we're going to go to our objects, and we're going to say the one we chose for dy dt is going to be c. We'll say OK. So now I can turn on this animation and we're kind of see what's going on. You can see it's starting off very slow. We're looking over here, and it's 0.3, 0.5, then it's -1, -2, -3. So it's you can really see how B is moving. You can watch it, and you can, there we are, -1.32. It's already started over, but I mean it jumps there. You can really see the difference in speed. Now what we're going to do, we're going to spend a little bit of time making our ladder. And so we're going to construct a segment from point B to A. And I'm going to undo that right now. Edit. Undo. And I see I'm coming up on 13 minutes. And so I'm going to make my first, I'm going to go to options. I'm going to do labeling. And I'm going to say no new objects. Because I'm going to be putting in quite a few things for the ladder. And I'm already at 13 minutes, so I'm gonna make this first segment, and then I'm gonna save this as part 1. Save this as part 1, and that will be all we have for right now. So this is part 1 of GeoGebra Project 2.